What's up, guys? Justin here with our Goodwill score from the other day, and I actually, after I had posted that Facebook status about it, I went back to the Goodwill the next day and found a few more games, actually a couple more RPGs and a system, and then I went back last night again and found a few more games, and then we went back when we were garage selling today and I found something else. So I've got a ton of stuff to show you guys in this video, all from the Goodwill over the past few days. I'm going to start out with the cartridge stuff that we found on the first day that I went there. They sell most of their cartridge stuff for $1.99. I think their Game Boy games are 79 cents. But after I got home and kind of looked through everything, I realized that there's probably one or two games in here that I should have passed on, but I actually had a couple of those $20 gift cards to use, so that ate up a significant portion of the total, and rather than trying to add up everything in my head and work it out with the gift cards, I just decided to pretty much pick up everything that I saw. So, start out with a stack of NES games here. We got Vegas Dream, Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. Again, if I could go back, I probably would have passed on this one, seeing as I already have so many copies of it. Pinbot. This was a cool one here, though. Krusty's Funhouse. We got Ikari Warriors 2, Victory Road. And I believe that was all for the NES stuff there, but decent stack of games. And they actually had one Super Nintendo game there. It was actually a pretty good title. Illusion of Gaia. And I've already got this cartridge, but I think Ryan was inquiring about this one. Now, they had a few Sega games there as well. Actually, one Genesis game that... This is one of the ones that I probably should have passed on, honestly, but it's just cartridge only. The Ren and Stimpy Show, Stimpy's Invention. And they actually had two 32X games there as well, which I've never seen 32X stuff at the Goodwill before, but we picked up Doom and Star Wars Arcade. And then they had some Game Boy stuff, again, 79 cents a piece on this Game Boy stuff here. We got Pocket Bomberman, Home Alone, Quarth, and this last one's here, definitely the coolest one. I did not have this one for my collection yet. The Ren and Stimpy Show, Space Cadet Adventures. And then, along with the Game Boy stuff, they also had a Game Boy camera, a red one. I'm not sure if I have the red one yet. I know I have a couple different colors of the Game Boy camera, so I'll have to check on that. And then finally, for $1.99, we got a Game Shark for a PlayStation. Now, I'm not exactly sure how to use this. I'm assuming that there's probably supposed to be a disc to go to put in the system, which I don't think I have one, so I got a loose Game Shark here. But moving on to the best part of the haul, the PlayStation 1 stuff that I got. So I had all that cartridge stuff in my hand. I look up, I see a stack of PlayStation 1 games, and as I'm going down the stack, they just keep getting better and better and better. And I got to the bottom, and my jaw was just dropped. I could not believe what was there. But these first two games are Final Fantasy games. We picked up Final Fantasy VIII. Now, unfortunately, this one is missing the manual. It is black label, though, and all 4 discs are in here. And we also picked up Final Fantasy IX, which, just like 8, is complete with all the discs, but no manual. And to go along with the Final Fantasy games, I actually picked up these two music CDs, which I thought were really cool. It's Distant Worlds 1 and 2, and they're like music from Final Fantasy. They're just compilations, I think. I don't think they have any like the really old Final Fantasy games in here. I think probably 5 or 6 is as early as they go. But I thought these were really cool. I do wish they were in better shape, though. It looks like the artwork on the back of them got wet at some point, but the discs are in good shape, and I thought they were pretty cool, so I'll have to give these a listen. And then, so these last 3 games were probably the best PS1 games that we picked up. This first one here is Fear Effect, and this one is complete. I believe this is a 4-disc game as well, so it's awesome to see that all the discs were in there. I picked up Fear Effect 2, discs only, at the Vinnie's not too long ago, I believe, as well, so I'll have to look out for a complete copy of that one. I'd like to get them both. But these last 2 here, I could not believe to see there. They're not like overly expensive games or anything, but they're at least 20 or 30 bucks. These are both complete. I might have to replace the cases on them, but other than that, they're in pretty nice shape, and I could not believe to see these there. But I picked up Suikoden. And I believe this is just a 1-disc game, even though it's in one of these big cases. It's just got a thicker manual there, and a cool little advertisement for Vandal Hearts over here. And then there's the disc there. So I was very happy to get this. I did not own this one for my collection yet. I do know that Suikoden 2 goes for some big money online. I think that one's like $150 now, something crazy like that. So obviously I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that one, but that one's obviously going to be a little bit harder to find. And then this last one here, I'd never heard of before. It is an Atlas RPG, and I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say Karshia, the Word of Fate. I'd never heard of this game before, but seeing as it's an Atlas RPG, I'm assuming it's probably pretty good. This one was complete as well with the manual, and this was just a one-disc game as well. But again, I was so amazed to see these there. I've recently got into collecting, a lot of the PS1 RPGs that I still need. So to get these for $3.99 a piece, minus whatever it was with the gift cards was awesome. And so I had all that stuff in my basket. I was walking up to the cash register to pay, and I noticed that they had some PlayStation 2 games and a couple of original Xbox games that they had put out as well in a different spot in the store. And so I get down there and I start flipping through them, and I could not believe what I was seeing. I was just putting one after the other in my cart because they were all really, really good titles. So I'll start out with the original Xbox games. I just got 2 of them here. We got Metal Slug 3. And all these Xbox and PS2 games are complete and in very nice condition. Whoever owned these or whoever owned this collection really took good care of their games. And we also got Jade Empire. This is an Xbox exclusive, complete. And then the PS2 stuff here. We got another Final Fantasy game, actually, Final Fantasy 12 Collector's Edition. It's got a nice hardcover case here. I don't know if there's like a slipcover that went over this or anything. If anyone knows, let me know. But unfortunately, this one is missing whatever manual or art book came over here. I'm assuming there must have been something. But it does have the game disc and the bonus disc down here. So that was a cool pickup. We got a Capcom game here. I don't think this one is an RPG. I think this one came out on the GameCube too, though. I've been looking for that one. It's Killer 7. Complete. We've got another Capcom game here, and I'm also not sure if this one is an RPG either, but it looks pretty legit. Crimson Tears. Complete. This one I know for a fact is an RPG. It's another Atlas RPG. I've never played any of the games in the series, though, so I might have to try this one out. Disgaea, Hour of Darkness. Another Atlas game here. I believe this one is an RPG. Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner. We got a Greatest Hits, Shadow of the Colossus. And then this last one here is actually a shooter, but it's a pretty cool shooter. Raiden 3 by UFO. Also complete. Now, I did pass on a few games. I remember they had a God of War for PS2 that was missing the manual and the disc was destroyed, so I passed on that. I think there was like a Splinter Cell for the Xbox or something that I passed on, but I definitely got all the good titles that they had there. And that wasn't even the end of it, because like I said, I went back the next day and found a couple more RPGs along with another with a GameCube game. Now, this first one actually has kind of an interesting story to go along with it. I'll go ahead and show it. It's a Black Label copy of Chrono Cross. It is complete. And this came from our local Play and Trade back when they were in business, and I even talked to Ryan about this. Both of us remember this game, the same exact game with the same exact sticker on it, sitting in the bottom of Play and Trade's glass case for as long as we went there before they closed. And I'm assuming someone must have bought it when they were having their closeout sale or whatever. But it's just awesome to know that I eventually wound up with it after Ryan and I had passed up on it so many times for $14.99, which is about what it goes for now. So. Very cool to get that one. And this next one here, I really could not believe when I saw this one there. It's a Lunar Silver Star Story complete. And this is a 4-disc game. It's actually, there's only 2 game discs, and then there's this game disc there, and then there's a soundtrack and the making of Lunar disc right there. Now, this one didn't have a manual in here, but the manual that came with this game, I have the box. The manual that came with it was like a hardcover manual that obviously wouldn't have fit in this case, but I do think there was supposed to be a map that came with it in here. At least mine has a map with it. So it was unfortunate they didn't have the map, but even just to get Lunar, with all the disc in there for $3.99 was still a pretty amazing find. And then this GameCube game I picked up was one that I did not own yet, surprisingly, actually. This one I've been looking up for, Kirby Air Ride. And this one was complete as well. Unfortunately, the disc it's pretty scratched up, but I'm thinking it'll play, and I'll obviously upgrade it eventually when I find a better disc. And then I also found a system that same day, like I had mentioned. It's an NES system here. This was marked for $9.99, I believe. It was paired with 2 controllers here. And it actually, I believe it had a game in the system too. Yeah, it had Tiny Toon Adventures in the system. And then separately on the side, they had this marked for $2.99. I just decided to, pick it up. Why not? A orange zapper gun to go with the system. So that was all like $13 or $14 with tax. In addition to the games, it was like $25 or something like that. But another amazing day at the Goodwill. I did test the system as well, and this was one of the better working systems I've ever found in the wild, honestly. I had no troubles with it, so that was really cool. And so I went back to Goodwill actually yesterday morning and didn't find anything, but later that night I was driving by there again right before they were closing. It was like 7:45. My cousin and I were like, all right, well, let's just stop in again. And I am very glad that I did, because we walked back to the games, and once again my jaw just dropped. Sitting in the same exact place as it had been the day before, I found, I kid you not, another copy of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. Now, unfortunately, this one wasn't as great because it's missing some of the discs. It has disc 1 in here, it is missing disc 2, and it's also missing the soundtrack, unfortunately, but it does have the making of Lunar right there. So, when I went up to pay for this, I obviously mentioned that it was missing some of the discs. I think they gave it to me for $2.99 instead of $3.99, which, I mean, I would have paid $4 just to get the case and a couple of discs anyway, but I got a little discount since it wasn't complete. And then also they had this factory-sealed PS2 game. It's nothing too special. It's Virtua Quest. I can't imagine this game's too hard to find. It's just like a Sega title, but I did want to pick it up because it is factory-sealed. So $2.99 for that, $3.99 for this, I believe. And then, like I said, we stopped at the Goodwill towards the end of our garage sailing today, and I didn't think they were going to have anything, because when we went there last night they had bins of stuff ready to put out, and when we went there this morning those same bins were sitting there, so I obviously just assumed they hadn't put anything new out. But we walked back to the electronics section, and for $4.99 I found a PS2 fat system. So an amazing 4 days at the Goodwill, and I'm going to go back tomorrow before work. And who knows, maybe I'll be filming another video tomorrow night. But this is easily one of the best hauls, if not the best haul we've ever had from the Goodwill. I'm hoping they stay hot for the rest of the summer while we enjoy the garage sale season up here. So I want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out the video. And until next time, take care.